All right, good morning, happy Thursday, and welcome to our morning mindset. I am really excited to be doing this with you guys on Thursday mornings. And we're going to be talking about this idea of the 7 mindsets. And last week, we talked about this concept that everything is possible. Okay. And I want to tell you guys a story. All right. I want to tell you a story about a little girl who is born in Tennessee, and she would watch her sister and all of her friends play basketball. Good morning. I love it. And she really wanted to play games. And when she was born, though, she had been hit with the polio illness, and she got hit multiple times with polio, and she became really sick. And the doctors told her mom that she would never be able to walk. She had to wear braces on her legs, and she just was very sad, very depressed. Her diagnosis, they said, was extremely bleak. When her mom told her that she could walk again, she had a choice, and she chose to believe her mom. Her parents and her siblings started taking care of her. They would begin to remove her leg braces, and they would massage her legs, and they would get her to where she could start hopping on one leg. By the time she was 8, she could move around without the leg braces completely. By the time she was 11, her mom found out that she could play basketball. And she quickly turned to sports and became a natural athlete. When her sister was going to join the basketball league, the coach wanted her sister, and her dad said, "You've got to take both girls. They're a package deal." And so reluctantly, the dad brought her on to, the coach brought her on to, you can say hi real quick and then you need to go.
Hi.
Thank you. The coach brought her on, and they quickly realized that she had this amazing ability to be able to run. And she had really amazing speed. So then she started turning to track. She was recruited onto the track team. She went into, when she was in high school, she competed on the collegiate level. And then in 1956, she competed in the Olympic Games. She won the bronze medal. 4 years later, in 1960, she headed to the Summer Olympics, and she was determined to get gold. Her performance in Rome cemented her as one of the greatest athletes in the 20th century. She won 3 gold medals. She broke at least 3 world records, and she became known as the fastest woman in the world. That woman was Wilma Rudolph. She had a choice. She had a choice to believe what she was told, or she had a choice to believe in this idea that we talked about last week, that anything is possible, right? We talked last week about the first of the 7 mindsets, that everything is possible. And I told you guys that it all comes down to a choice. On Saturday, John A. Cuff, one of my favorite authors, talked about his new book, Soundtracks. And he talked about this idea that the soundtracks that we listen to in our head determine our path. Wilma had a choice. She could have believed in the soundtrack from the doctor that she would never be able to walk again, Or she could believe in the soundtrack of her family that you will walk again. And they did everything in their power to make her walk again. And she became the fastest woman in the world. I want you all to let that sink in for a second, because I think it is really important to think about what soundtracks are you going to allow in your mind and in your space. I was talking to Michelle, this was a couple months ago, about something that I was going through, and she said, why are you letting this rent space in your head? And it was such an amazing mental visual for me to think, why am I letting this rent space in my head? Because the thing that I was allowing to rent space in my head was derailing me. It was stopping me from sleeping. It was halting my actions and the things that I wanted to get done. It was blocking me from reaching my goals because I was allowing it to rent space in my head. If you did not listen to John Acuff on Saturday, I really strongly encourage you to listen to the replay because it was amazing. I listened to his podcast. I dropped it in for my team on Monday, I believe it was. Amazing podcast where he talks and he reads through the first chapter of his book. And he talks about this idea that what the stories that we tell, right? The reels that we play in our head, it's like a soundtrack over and over and over again. So I want you to think about, I'm going to read off 4 different statements, and I want you to think and drop in the comments in the chat, if you can, what comes to your mind when you hear these, okay? Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. I'm going to read it again. Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. What thoughts, what feelings does that bring out for you? Go ahead, Bree. I'm going to make you see if I can see the chat. Placing limits on yourself.
You want me to talk, Mina?
For a hot second, because I can't pull up the chat right now.
I was just saying, I think that to some extent that's true, right? Like we have to have some sort of vision for ourselves, but I know my favorite people in life are the ones that see things for me. Like I had a friend that called me yesterday and she was like, same thing, you're placing limits on yourself. And if you don't stop, like this is where you're going to tap out. So I think that sometimes you have to have those people in life that are seeing for you and believing for you and dreaming for you.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And Jessica was saying, let me see if I can pull it up on the desktop here since I have. There we go. Placing limits on ourselves, talking in absolutes. I love that, Jessica. We're limiting ourselves. This idea of dreaming big. We need to push ourselves and see it for ourselves. Yeah, and I love too that Bree even brought up this idea that it's okay to call on others to help us. Wilma, she didn't have any thoughts, right? She didn't have any thoughts either way when she was young, but she took the thoughts and the beliefs of her family over the beliefs of the doctor. And she used that to propel her forward to greatness. So what do you think successful people have in common behind this idea of fame and fortune? We all want to be successful, right? but do we all believe that we can be successful? So the people that actually make it versus the people that don't, what is the difference? What is the thing that separates them? Belief. Exactly. Believing that everything is possible. They don't allow other people to dictate their beliefs. Is that what you said, Tara? Because I cut off the consistency, desire.
Yeah.
Exactly. Again, it goes back to the whole reason why we come together every morning is mindset. It's what you have in your head. The things that are between these two ears are sometimes the most powerful thing you have. And it's going to change, right? It flows like the wind. 1 minute it's going this way. I can do it. I've got it. I'm going to reach out to all those people and I'm going to sign them up. And then within seconds, it blows this way. And suddenly you're like, I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Oh, they didn't answer me when I messaged them, even though it was 30 seconds ago. Oh, that's it. They don't like me anymore. Their little bubble popped down. They didn't message me back. They don't like me anymore. I shouldn't do this, right? We play those mind games where 1 minute we're diamonds. We're all rocking and rolling our business. And the next minute, we suck at this. We're horrible at this. We weren't meant for this. What were we thinking? We can't do this. So what has to happen is the actions that we take to make sure that we guard our mindset and to make sure that we really truly hold on to this idea that everything is possible. Okay? I want to see if it will let me. You're right, Terry. We can be our worst enemy.
We don't have that.
All right, I'm going to play a clip for you guys. Can you hear it?
You gotta turn the sound up on that computer.
Oh,
I see it, but I don't hear it.
that's because the 11-year-old had to clue me in here. Oh, the 10-year-old. He's 10. I'm going to have to turn the audio off on this.
We can still just see it, but not hear it.
Were you able to hear it?
No.
Okay, I'll drop it in our May chat. So it was talking about dreaming big, and it's talking about what they interviewed hundreds of people that were successful and what would they have changed. But it doesn't work too much if you can't hear it. All right. So what I want to do is talk about some action steps, right? Because last week we talked about the idea of everything is possible. But I think it's really important to think about, how do you put it into action? What are things that you do to make this idea that everything is possible become reality for you? So I think the first thing that you need to do, and we've talked about this all the time, right? We hear it all the time in trainings, but you have to really narrow down your why. Why are you here? Because if you don't know your why, then those days when your mind is blowing this way, you're not going to have the strength to pull it back. If your why isn't strong enough, if your why isn't grounding you, if your why isn't pushing you forward on the days that you don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to hit send and you don't want to hit play and you don't want to do the things, then the days that your mind blows here, you're going to stay here. And you're not going to have that. I love magnets and I love how they pull and they attract things. If your why isn't strong, then your why is not going to be a strong enough magnet to pull your thoughts back over to this side. But here's the thing, when you come up with your why, okay, and I love the idea that your why needs to make you cry, but that doesn't always work for everybody, right? But it does have to be powerful. And that's what that idea of your why has to make you cry comes from. That it has to be powerful. And it has to be concrete, and it has to be something that you can see. It can't just be, I love, and I'm so bad with names, I'm going to draw a blank on her name, but she's a diamond in the company, and she has a podcast, and I listen to her a lot. And she talks about this idea that if I say my why is to take my kids to Disney, okay, that's one of my goals. It's on my vision board. We're going to go to Disney. But the reality is that may not be enough to get me going. No, it's not Megan. That may not be enough to make me do the things that scare me, the things that give me the sweaty taco pits. Because the reality is that come the end of the 3 months or the 6 months, whenever I say I'm gonna work towards this, and I could put Disney on a card, right? I could get to Disney in some way. And so maybe that isn't a strong enough why. But maybe working so that you can be home and be present in the moments, maybe that's your strong why. Maybe working so hard because your husband isn't able to financially support anymore because of the economy crashing, and now you are either going to be in food lines at a food pantry or able to pay for groceries. Maybe that's your why. Maybe your husband passing away suddenly in his early 30s, leaving you with 4 small children, and you have no means to support yourself unless you hit play and you hit send and you do those messages. Maybe that is the why that propels you to Diamond. And for those of you that don't know, that was Alita's why. So you have to, when you're thinking about this idea that everything is possible, it is, but you need to think about why you're doing it. So I want you today to think about why. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? Whether you want to just get your products paid for, or you want to go to Mexico and drive the Lexus, or you want to be Diamond, whatever it is that you're aiming for, you need to have a why. Now, I'm going to make you take it one step further, okay? And I'm going to be focusing on this myself as well, because I need to do some of my own revamping mentally. So I tell you this all the time. I'm not, what's the phrase? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking with you, or whatever it goes, because I'm going to be doing this with you guys. And Bree can tell you, because I talk to Bree daily, I've been struggling. So this is not me saying, hey, I've got it all figured out. This is me simply looking up some things and sharing it with you because these are things that I have to do myself. So you're going to identify your why. Why are you here? All right. And that why is going to help push this idea that everything is possible. And then I want you to take that why, and this is something that I don't think we have ever done as a team before. I want you to take that why and I want you to turn it into a mission statement. Because ladies, you are here because you're business owners, right? You're leaders. And every successful business, every successful CEO creates a mission statement, a vision for their company. What are they going to do? What do they believe in? What is at the core of what they do? I remember several years ago when I was teaching, we came up with, more than several years ago, this is about 10 years ago, because the district that I was teaching in had come up with a brand new mission statement. And so the year before, they asked all of the teachers to come up with mission statements as educators. What do we want as the district to do? What do we want in our classroom? Now I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing for your business. And what you want in your mission statement, what you are declaring you're going to do and you're going to hold true, is going to come from the why that you set and this belief that everything is possible. So today's homework from Mrs. Luke is defining your why. Mikey's laughing. She goes, Mommy's giving them homework. Mommy's giving you guys homework. Ashley's going to write it on the board under HW. Oh no, she teaches kindergarten. Us upper elementary teachers. First grade now? Okay. Yes.
I did my homework.
Oh, you did your homework. What an idea. What a concept. This child does not like to do her homework.
And I forgot 2 days. So I promised my teacher I'll do it. So.
Okay.
And boom.
All right. So homework, and then I'm going to let you guys go.
Homework, yay. I love homework.
Writing down your why and writing down your mission statement. And I'm going to encourage you, but you don't ever have to, because your business is a very personal thing for you, but I would love to see you dropping them in that May Momentum chat. Okay. And then next week, because I told you guys, while I'm with you guys for Thursdays, at least for the next several months, we're going to be talking about this idea of the 7 mindsets, and we're going to be expanding on it. Okay. And so next week, we're going to move on to even the next best thing. So have an amazing week, everybody. Let me get back so I can.
Oh no, what are you doing?
All right, Marissa.